While the Battle of Jakku is considered to be the official end of the Galactic Civil War, the book Aftermath: Empire's End left room for more Imperial conflicts and future stories. 2 years after the book's release, it sounds like we're going to start seeing what became of the Imperial Remnant in stories like the Alphabet Squadron trilogy, and based on some set reports, maybe even some live-action media, but I won't get into leaks or anything like that. What I will get into is what we currently know about the members of the Empire that refused to give up the fight. First, let's talk about what sets them apart from the First Order. As the Empire broke down at the Battle of Jakku, a set of coordinates to the unknown regions was delivered to any Imperial leaders that were deemed worthy. They retreated from the battle and rendezvoused with the Emperor's personal Super Star Destroyer, the Eclipse. That group then spent the next 30 or so years transitioning into what we now know as the First Order. The Imperials that were left behind had a couple of options. Some stayed on Jakku and fought for months beyond the signing of the ceasefire. One of the final known goals of the Empire was to stop New Republic forces from reaching a secret research facility on the planet at Carbon Ridge. They were successful in destroying the facility, so we have no idea what was hidden inside right now. Other Imperials simply retreated. Despite being the tactical leader during the Battle of Jakku, Grand Moff Rand was not given the coordinates to the Eclipse. He coordinated the battle from his own Super Star Destroyer, the Ravager, which happens to be the same one Rey flies the Millennium Falcon through in The Force Awakens. He escaped its destruction in a pod and fled with some of his remaining forces to the Quailuan Nebula, itself in the unknown regions. Their fleet was made up of at least 10 Star Destroyers and a number of light cruisers. I want to point out that the Imperials in the Quailuan Nebula were first introduced in the book Lost Stars well before Empire's End came out. At the time, I think the implication was that they would eventually turn into the First Order, and there are even hints that they were responsible for the development of the upgraded TIE fighters, but Empire's End makes it pretty clear that Rand was not invited to the Eclipse, and we can specifically trace that group's characters all the way to the First Order. Even more groups are mentioned in Empire's End. Some go into hiding, waiting for a successor to the Emperor. Some make violent last stands. The point is, we have multiple Imperial groups spread throughout the known and unknown galaxy. This is somewhat similar to Star Wars Legends, where Imperial warlords popped up to be dealt with over and over, but I don't think they'll be as widespread as they were back in the old EU. The Alphabet Squadron books sound like they'll be about hunting down these remnants to wipe them out for good. But where are they all hiding? I think it would be cool if the groups were actually somewhat organized and they split up to help guard Imperial installations just like they did at Carbon Ridge. We've heard about 2 Imperial observatories, one on Jakku in Empire's End, and one on Pilio in Battlefront 2. Empire's End tells us there were many observatories scattered across the galaxy. They all looked beyond the known galaxy, but also served unique purposes. The Jakku facility was used to plot a course into the unknown regions. The one on Pilio seemed to just be a storage facility. It gives me Dharma Initiative vibes from Lost. Facilities on various planets, each with their own nefarious purpose. I like the idea of Alphabet Squadron having to hunt them all down, remove any Imperial presence, and then destroy them. Actually, that sounds like a great video game too. Kinda like Knights of the Old Republic searching for star maps and clues. I think there's a lot of potential for what's left of the Empire after Jakku, and I'm relieved that we'll be seeing at least some stories based on the Remnant. One thing about Star Wars Legends that I definitely prefer over canon is that the Galactic Civil War went on for 15 years after the Emperor's death. The surrender happening only 1 year later in canon feels way too fast, so I feel like this could be a nice middle ground where the New Republic could still fight the Empire for a few more years and provide us with some cool mysteries to explore along the way. But as of right now, the Imperial Remnant is very much up in the air. We don't know their size, scope, or goals. We just know they're out there and they're ready for some trouble. So what do you hope we get to see from the Empire in future stories? Let me know in the comments. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and consider checking out our Patreon page. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.